Yeah, let's go. 2015. Um, Corey, start us off.
So the one I went with is Steve Jobs, with Fassbender. Um, and this movie, I think it's actually like a really interesting movie. It's definitely a good take on exactly what those the last probably like last 15 years of Steve Jobs' life really what happened. Um, the one thing that's kind of interesting about it is that it's how it's told. The story's told in like a weird, nonlinear way. Um, but this it's definitely a really good. Oh, Danny Boyle directed it, I believe. I think it's
Yep.
one of my definitely one of my favorite movies that he's directed. Um, Fassbender does a shockingly good Steve Jobs. Um, it's I think it might be like an acquired taste for some people because of how the movie's designed. Um, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than the the Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie that came out probably like 5 years prior.
I No, it came out the same year, didn't it?
I thought it
I
came
think
out
I don't think it's the same year, but I
came
think
out
It
it's
was like
around the
before.
same
it was
time.
yeah, it was like I think maybe a year or 2 years before.
I mean that movie's not bad, and Ashton
I
Kutcher
never saw it.
definitely.
SWB audio
I watched it
capture,
once or twice,
not
and
registered.
not bad. His performance was very good, but this is infinitely a stronger movie. Seth Rogen was awesome. It just had a really good cast. I would say the only odd thing about it again is just how the movie's structured. It's
Yeah.
kind of all over the place. Um, but yeah, Jeff Daniels. I know I'm missing a couple other people that pop up in the movie, actor
You
wise.
you said Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
Um.
Kate Winslet.
Kay Winslet.
Oh yeah, she's the other big name.
I'm
Yeah,
just reading the poster that's on our lovely
Yeah,
Twitch graphic.
those were the four big names.
the most interesting
Michael
thing.
Stuhlbarg was in it.
Yeah. Yep.
He was good in it. He
Yeah.
plays like a beaten down
Mm-hmm.
Apple employee.
Yeah. Probably the most interesting thing for me is how they brought the sets accurately back into the time period that they were trying to depict. And I remember when they were filming the movie, it reminded me a lot of like what Tarantino did with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where they shut down specific areas, in LA or wherever they were filming Cupertino, and like painstakingly changed, the areas to look like those places in that time period. So they definitely nailed that really well. It felt
Yeah.
like it was in the 90s and the 80s, 70s, I guess, too. Those time periods that the movie takes place in. Uh, but yeah, this is, if you haven't seen it, I definitely give it a shot. I think it's on, I think it might not be on Netflix anymore, but it definitely was recently. Uh, Definitely good, and give you a little bit of history on all the turmoil that happened in Apple when Jobs was there and not there.
Yeah. It's very much like a Sorkin written
SWB
movie.
audio
Yep.
I
capture,
loved it in
not
theaters.
registered.
I haven't watched it in full since then, but
I wish I
probably
saw it
should.
in theaters. I didn't see it in theaters for whatever reason.
All right. Doug, your pick kind of surprised me, but it makes sense.
Change pick or the
Oh, the pick that's on the
Oh,
page now.
he changed it at the last second.
yeah,
It's Doug's pick.
What was the original one?
didn't realize you had like the graphics teed up
Hateful
for
Eight,
Hateful Eight.
because it's
Ah,
right
And then
underneath his Jurassic World poster.
we do typically talk about Quentin Tarantino movies, but not this time.
yeah, don't remember enough about Hateful Eight to really talk about.
There's that
Yeah, I
weird
picked Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. I think is enjoyable if you can separate it from the Jurassic Park franchise. Once you try to make a Jurassic Park movie, I dislike this movie. When I saw it in theaters, I enjoyed it as just like a mindless action movie. Whenever I think about it as a Jurassic Park fan, I hate it. The raptors being like pets that can like save people. The spies, because it's very against like the Crichton animalistic. Like nature is going to be this killing machine that. So then the fact that like the raptors are looking out to protect Chris Pratt's character, especially Blue, just like really feels like it goes against everything in Jurassic Park.
SWB audio capture not registered.
Nostalgia elements where they go to the old Jurassic Park facility do much for me because they weren't there very long and they didn't look at very much stuff. T-Rex was cool, but it's a lot of overuse of CGI to the point where none of it really feels real. When they were making this movie, they said that there was going to be a lot of practical involved.
Really?
I don't know. It didn't.
Yeah,
feel
there's
that way to
definitely
me.
not a
Didn't
lot
really
of
feel like there was
practical.
much practical involved.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, totally.
It's, I guess, one of those things to try to get you hyped about the movie, and it spawned a second movie that I disliked even more than the first, that had to do with like cloning and super weird. And then we're gonna get a third movie that hopefully will redeem the entire Jurassic World franchise. We
Yeah,
got
definitely.
the original 3 back.
Yeah, it's a lofty goal. How was the ride? The Jurassic World ride?
We'll see there, but it was good. Really fast roller coaster. There wasn't anything special about it, so
Well, that's just
That's
like the
great
Jurassic
an
Park
endorsement.
franchise.
Yeah. Yeah,
Par for the course.
this movie was just like filler and fluff between dinosaur attacks. Is the way I felt like this movie was when I saw it in theaters.
I remember liking it when it first came out, and then when I saw it the second time, like reflected and then saw it a second time, I was like, this is not good. It's just, but I think because I've been wanting another Jurassic Park movie for so long, and the nostalgia, and I didn't like the previous one.
SWB audio
But
capture
after the
not
first
registered.
viewing, I was like, this movie is not good. It sucks.
We should have seen this coming because Jurassic Park 3, the guy's got the 3D printed larynx of a
Movie's garbage.
raptor, and he talks to the raptors, and
Yeah.
they stop attacking him.
Yep. Garbage.
That was stupid. And stupid.
Yeah, they've been getting progressively
was-
dumber.
Yeah.
And the characters just aren't good. Like, that's why I'm hoping the third
No.
one, by bringing back the originals, like, I mean, you have to write them well, though. That's the biggest thing. You can't just rely on Jeff Goldblum, like, just to act out your crappy shit and turn it into gold. It needs to be a well-written script in order for it to work.
Well, they tried that with the last one. They tried to have the 3 minutes of Jeff Goldblum to save them.
Yeah,
And,
they conned
really
us in the
didn't work.
trailers.
I mean, that one I
Bullshit.
still have not seen. I will
the
watch
trailer,
it.
and they were like,
Yeah,
I mean, you saw his entire role in the trailer.
that is insane. That's the. That's
He
what
had
he's
3
in.
more lines.
My God.
Like, he really had, like, a minute of screen time.
So bad.
she got paid for that.
I'm
Oh,
sure
I'm
he
sure he
did.
got paid handsomely for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big
I
time.
mean, the amount of money that they made from
It
him
helped their
being in
marketing.
that, yeah, exactly. That absolutely helped it. Because it really had nothing going for it in this one because they already did the whole Jurassic World. Like, they did the whole theme park being open.
Mhm.
It had nothing going for it. Like, they just say part 2 is essentially just all set up for part 3. And no surprise, it was garbage. So we'll see if part 3 actually was worth part 2. My guess is no, but
Yeah, I can't imagine.
We'll know
we
in less than a year.
SWB audio capture
exactly.
not registered.
all right, JP, you got a good movie on yours. So
Yeah,
let's
I do
hear
have a
about
good
yours.
Still
movie.
haven't seen this.
So I have The Martian, which is a Ridley Scott movie in space. Obviously, he loves space. starring Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain. You got a little Sebastian Stan and Kate Mara in there. It's based off a 2011 novel by Andy Weir, which I read before I watched this movie. And this is one of the rare movies where the movie holds up to being just as good as the novel was. The novel was great because
The novel.
it's all the guy trapped on Mars talking to himself, figuring things out, going through some of the science, and it seems mildly believable. And Matt Damon does a good job with that in this. The one problem I have with this movie is that it's so fucking clear that they're going to save him, and absolutely no one's going to die in the process of saving him, because then it's just a loss. It's just a sunk cause. Like, if they go there and 2 people die and they bring 1 guy home, what's the fucking point? So they all end up surviving, I'm pretty sure, at the end. Which is wild, but it's just a really good movie. It's just a guy on Mars talking to himself, doing science and surviving. And Damon does a really, really good job in this. So it's one of those rare movies that I feel like holds up against the novel.
Yeah, it was tough, tough performance for Damon. You really had to carry so much of the movie alone, and he does a damn good job of it, like Tom Hanks did in Castaway. And he's just really funny in it.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest thing I got out of his performance was how funny he was.
I remember from the trailer, because like I said, I didn't see the movie. It reminded me a lot of Moon in some ways.
SWB audio capture not registered.
Yeah, some aspects, like the Matt Damon being alone part.
Yeah,
definitely.
In space.
But it's very much an ensemble movie.
Yeah.
Like JJ just listed out 10 big actors. And I don't even think you said Donald Glover and
I didn't
few
even
other
realize
people.
he's in it.
It's a massive cast.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't really like the people on the ground.
Mhm.
I found them to be, I don't know, okay. They were very tertiary part of this, but the astronauts in the ship and Matt Damon stranded on Mars, just 2 really good scenes that I loved going back and forth and visiting too. Fucking Sean Bean's in it.
Jeez.
Benedict Wong's in it before he was in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, year
I think
before.
around the same time, yeah. Michael Peña's in this fucking movie. Jeff Daniels. It's a really, really good cast. It's a
And
solid movie.
Jessica Chastain and Matt Damon came right off Interstellar with this one. They were both
Oh
in
yeah.
that. And Matt Damon's role is so similar. Like in Interstellar, he's been stuck alone on a planet for forever, waiting for someone to come get him.
I
And
forgot Matt
similar
Damon
to-
was in that movie.
So did
Yeah,
I.
because he was a surprise role in that movie. Like they didn't
Yeah.
market him.
Surprise Matt Damon. It seems to be a thing in Hollywood, and I'm
Yeah.
loving it. You get surprise Matt Damon in Thor movies.
Yeah,
Surprise Matt Damon in
true.
Interstellar. He's
pretty
going to be
great.
in the new Thor movie, so
Mm-hmm.
not going to be that big of a surprise, but I can't wait. Yeah, this is a great movie. I don't think I've watched it since theaters, but I think I'm going to now.
There you go. All right, that's The Martian. And Corey, you should watch this on 4K. I'm sure it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
quality.
SWB audio
Doug,
capture
you should too.
not
'Cause
registered.
you love 4K.
He does love 4K.
He certainly does.
The
I've heard
oranges on
there's
Mars.
a significant difference.
Yeah.
Murph, you have a
I've heard
a
it looks
movie.
great in 4K.
Yeah,
True.
I'll bet.
I have a movie. I do have a movie.
You have a movie. I mean,
I have a movie.
it's a moving picture.
I went with this year was weird. But I went with one that was a pleasant surprise for me. Spy, the Melissa McCarthy one, directed by Paul Feig. This was a year that had a Bond movie, Kingsman, and I definitely have watched Spy more than all 3 of them combined. And I probably like this one the most. It would be either this one or Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. And I think because if Fallout was better than Rogue Nation, I would just give this the leg up on Rogue Nation. It's got hilarious performances from Jason Statham and Rose Byrne. Like they're two funniest performances ever. Melissa McCarthy isn't as outlandish as like you would expect. She's more of like the person being put in all these crazy situations that like she's ill-equipped to handle. But like she's a completely like straight-laced type of character, which is different from like the over-the-top characters that I think we can all say we don't enjoy from her. So that really surprised me. Jude Law also has a funny performance in the film. Um, who else do we got in this one? Bobby Cannavale, uh, Peter Serafinowicz. Another hilarious one. Um, he's Pete in Shaun of the Dead. Oh yeah, 50 Cent's in it. So it's
SWB
got
audio
random ass
captured,
people as
not
well.
registered.
Gabe from The Office. Yeah, a lot. Damn, like a lot of people that became names after the fact, or were just starting like their comedy career. But yeah, Rose Byrne plays like a awesome like type of like Bond femme fatale villain, and it's definitely her funniest thing. Like she's the person I would recommend the most from it, like to watch it. 'Cause she was great at Neighbors, but I guess
I love Rose Byrne.
this came out
Yeah,
like
she's awesome.
a year after Neighbors, and she's like way funnier in this one because she gets to be like ridiculous in it. Um, yeah, Jason Statham's character just always like talks about all the ridiculous situations he survived, and they're just like beyond like insane. Like nobody can live from him, and he's just trying to always one up everyone else. And it's really like a different type of character for him than like all the badasses he plays in other movies where he actually does do these things. Like you don't believe he's actually like that big a badass in this, which is funny. But yeah, like I said, this was a year I was super excited about. All Spectre ultimately disappointed. I did enjoy it, but it was a letdown from Skyfall. Uh, Rogue Nation, I was very happy with. I thought it was a step up from Ghost Protocol, and probably peak Mission Impossible outside of the first one at the time. But ultimately, like I said, I liked Fallout more. Um, and Kingsman was a pleasant surprise. I know none of us were like had the highest of expectations when it came out, but we were all happy with it when it did. Um, and we've talked about it a lot over the past year. Um, but yeah, this was one that ultimately didn't make enough money, so we never got. But it would have been cool to get one. I
SWB
mean,
audio
they followed up
captured,
this with the
not
Ghostbusters movie, and
registered.
that was just a
Yeah.
massive disappointment. And had none of the like intelligence or humor that this one had. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and
this
I
was when
think
I stayed the fuck away because I don't like Paul Feig and I don't like Melissa McCarthy.
I'm right
yeah,
there with
This
you.
is when I never
Yeah.
really checked out.
yeah, I think this one benefited from the
Forgot
fact that
about this movie.
that
I
he was
saw it
the
too,
only
and
writer. Because there's some co-writers he's worked with on the Heat and Ghostbusters and those
Yeah, the
movies.
woman who worked with the Ghostbusters
I
is an
hated both of those movies.
empty vessel.
Well, I didn't hate. I hated the Heat. I thought it was a terrible. Um, Ghostbusters was bad. Um, so again, not that like that's not an endorsement at all. I didn't like either. But like when he just freaks and geeks on his own, when he did this, um, he didn't. I don't think he wrote Bride. No, he didn't even write Bridesmaids. That was
Oh, really?
Kristen Wiig, and somebody else. But when he does his own shit that he writes, I think he's very good. So yeah, Doug, you said you saw it.
yeah,
Spy?
I've seen this movie. I liked it. I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was really funny. Um, I don't know why I played out some movies she wanted to see, and I thought it was gonna be. I kind of like JP was like, this is probably gonna be terrible. Um, and it wound up being really funny.
Yeah, I had no intention
Completely
of
forgot
seeing
that this
it
movie existed.
until the reviews were really positive. I'm looking now as a that was the only reason why I saw it. I the trailers didn't do anything for me, but I was like, all right, this people are actually saying it's legit, so I just gave it a shot and was pleasantly surprised.
Cool.
All right.
Jude Law's pretty funny in this movie too.
Yeah.
SWB audio
Yeah, and he's
capture
kind of
not
well,
registered.
he's mostly playing to his strong suits, but it has a little bit of a little twist to his character that make it a little bit different. All right. Extra
Two
picks,
runner-ups.
JP. You had a couple?
Yeah, the 2 runner-ups. This one is just one that I remember seeing in the movie theater. It is Everest with Jake Gyllenhaal, and again Thanos is in it, and
We did this right before the Golden Mile.
yeah, who else was in this movie? This was a good movie. It was intense as hell, and I remember it being a really cold theater, so it gave you the feel of being out and up on Everest and freezing your butt off, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, we have Brolin, Joel Edgerton, right?
yeah. It was
Or was it Jason Clark? Was it Edgerton?
Jason Clark, right? This
Jason.
was like this was the Jason Clark renaissance
Yeah.
before he disappeared. And then Jake Gyllenhaal and Josh Brolin, Keira Knightley.
Hmm.
It was
Yeah, because it
cool.
followed like their wives, like them dealing with
Yeah.
everything that was going on from their perspective.
It's a bleak ass movie.
Yeah.
Like, don't watch this one to feel good, but it's
Or
cool.
like pretty much everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
One more like
Yeah.
setting it. Okay.
But like Everest is just it. I've always loved Mount Everest. It's just like the lore behind it and the people that go up and never come back is pretty nuts. I don't know why you would ever do that. And then that's Sicario, which Sicario was a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah, really good movie.
Super stylized. I thought it was just a really neat action movie. Then I don't know if the sequels were any good or not. I never saw them.
It was
I read a
okay.
sequel.
Yeah, I liked it, but definitely not as good as the first.
SWB audio
just another
capture
Josh Brolin
not
thing, and
registered.
Benicio is just a fucking animal in it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, Benicio was
What
Was
great.
it,
Emily Blunt was great.
Yeah, was
Emily
really good.
Blunt in an action movie, sure, like all day.
Yeah.
Wonderful movie. Just like a good action movie. Those are my two.
Then, yeah, then we had some shout outs. In the Marvel verse, we had Ant-Man and Age of Ultron, Avengers. I mean, Corey and I were just talking about Age of Ultron this weekend and how like it was ultimately kind of disappointing,
Yeah.
but not like a bad movie, but like for the MCU and in comparison to the Avengers, what came before and after was a disappointment.
Yeah, I've watched it within the last 4 months or so, just because once you finish one of the Marvel TV shows, it's always there.
Mhm.
So it's been on. They tried to do too much. They tried to make it too dark, and it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the funny things about Simon Pegg's Q&A that he did this week, they asked him about Ant-Man, and he's like, I've read Edgar Wright's script. It was better.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I don't doubt that for a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
I mean, what could have been?
Exactly.
I'm sure it was.
That I'll always have a thing against Ant-Man for that. But it was better than that, like I expected after all that drama behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's a good middle Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's there. It
Yeah.
it brought Paul Rudd into it, and he's done cool things in like Civil War and
I think I like the sequel more.
Endgame. Yeah, I've only seen the sequel the one time. I can't really remember. We've got The Big Short.
Scariest movie I've ever seen.
Still haven't seen it. Need to.
I don't know if you can even is it a comedy or is it a drama?
It's the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life.
It
SWB
is
audio
definitely
capture
dark.
not registered.
Yeah, I've
Definitely
heard people
bleak.
say it's terrifying. More so.
But it's
than
also like a
fun.
very funny movie.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
funny.
Adam McKay does it, so
It's informative too, to some degree, and
Yeah.
That's his MO.
it's just a quirky, horrifying drama horror movie
yeah,
about money.
an all-star cast. The
Scott-
four leads are incredible.
Margaret Robbie in a hot tub, in a bathtub. So
It does.
pretty good.
Then we mentioned Spectre earlier. Did you guys have any other thoughts on this one? Am I the only one who thought it was disappointing?
Nah, I was a little let down, especially with that star power. Christoph,
Yeah, I didn't really.
Waltz is fucking Blofeld. Just
Christoph Waltz
They
was
did
the only.
they did the Dougie.
Yeah, exactly.
They did the fucking Dougie.
The movie in itself
mean-
wasn't really disappointing to me. Just his presence was. Christoph Waltz. He was definitely underutilized.
Yeah, hopefully they give him some better stuff to do in the new one. I don't know
Yeah,
if he's
he's
just gonna have one scene or if he's gonna have a bigger role than the trailers.
They're gonna
lead us
team
to
up.
believe.
Austin and Dougie are gonna team up to save the
To
world.
defeat what's his face? Freddie Mercury. Yeah, to defeat Goldmember. All right.
Here we go. This is the real entertaining part of this segment.
Where we fumble with movies. A lot of movies that we
All right.
seen and haven't seen.
Let's get right
I'm
into
bringing
them.
them up. All right.
The Meddler.
Susan Sarandon, J.K. Simmons, Rose Byrne.
Ooh, good cast.
Very
It's got a good cast.
Yeah.
yeah.
I honestly don't know if I've ever heard of it though.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Wait, let me look at the poster on the screen. Is it on the screen yet? I'm still seeing.
No,
Spy.
I don't have these ones, dude.
Oh,
These came up at Twitch. So I'm not that fast.
SWB audio
yeah,
capture
I'm not sure
not
about the Meddler, but it's got a
registered.
good cast.
After the death of her husband, a woman, Susan Sarandon, moves from New Jersey to Los Angeles to be closer with her daughter, Rose Byrne.
Ooh,
And I'm
big
sure
year for Rose Byrne.
all sorts of romance and drama, since it is a romance and drama, ensue.
Yeah,
There
I
you
don't
go.
remember this one.
Okay, you're gonna have to add to your queue, Corey.
Yeah.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was another spy movie in 2015. I just haven't seen it. I want to see it. It's been on my
I want
watch
to see it
list.
too.
It's been on my watch
It's
list
got
for
a good
5
cast.
years. Yeah, it's got a really good cast.
It's got Army Hammer. He eats
Yeah.
people. It's got Superman in it.
Pre-cannibalism.
At least as far as we know, pre-cannibalism.
It's really
Pre-Marvel
Batman
cannibalism.
versus Superman if you think about it, because Army Hammer was going to be Batman. Henry Cavill became Batman.
Yeah. And then who is Alicia Vikander? And who's the other female in it? There's like a fourth big name, if I remember correctly. Oh, Elizabeth Debicki from Tenet.
Oh yeah.
And
Guardians
2. So yeah, Hugh Grant, Jared Harris, fantastic cast.
Yeah.
That's a Guy Ritchie.
Yes, I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely got.
Yep.
Doug, have you seen this one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It's interesting because I think Henry, if I'm remembering it correctly, Henry Cavill plays the American agent and Army agent, which is weird because
it's an interesting choice.
Yeah, that
it's
is.
reverse in real life.
Yeah.
Well, no, Army Hammer is a KGB agent. He's Russian.
KGB. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I screwed that up.
Nah, it's cool though. They flopped him in. It seemed like a funny movie. I mean, Guy Ritchie obviously is gonna have some top quality banter. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
SWB audio capture not
If Doug
registered.
hadn't seen it, I'd say maybe this should be a movie club movie. All right, then we got Room, Brie Larson, Jacob Tremblay. Super depressing movie. It's the one where they're trapped in a room for half of it. I guess like at least 5 years. Truly horrible. And then it just gets as depressing when they get out. She tries to adjust back to life, back to normal as much as you can try to do in a situation like that when you're kidnapped. So yeah, really good one. She won Best Actress for it. Made Jacob Tremblay start to do movies like Good Boys and Luca. But yeah, you guys have seen this one?
I haven't.
No.
Stay the fuck away from shit like this.
Yeah. The Danish Girl with Eddie Redmayne and Alicia Vikander.
Second one for her.
Yeah, she won Best Supporting Actress for this one. Never seen it.
Wholesome Amber Heard's in this movie as well. She's a good person.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard good things about this one. Pitch Perfect 2.
Green Bay Packers are in this one.
I think we talked about the first
Solid
one fairly
sequel.
recently.
This is a good one.
Green Bay Packers are in this one. Never seen it, but I support it wholeheartedly.
I remember the dude from what is it, Workaholics. He had some funny stuff with what's her face, Rebel Wilson.
Yeah. It's a really fun
doing
movie.
doing a great job naming people. But yeah, that movie was funny from what I remember. Corey, you've seen this one, Sleeping with Other People.
Yeah, this is a really, really funny movie. I like this a lot. Alison Brie and again, terrible.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, Ted
Jason
Lasso.
Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis. Yeah.
SWB audio
Scott, Amanda
capture
Peet.
not
Good
registered.
Yeah.
cast.
I know I recommended this to you, Murph, but
Yeah.
I think Doug, I think you and JP would really enjoy this. I think your significant others would enjoy it too.
It's got Raffi from The League in it. I love him and everything. He's
Jason
fucking hilarious.
Mantzoukas.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
fucking
Oh, he's
hilarious.
great.
Yeah, it's a legitimately like really funny movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's very adult. It's an interesting plot for sure, and they're really good together. Alison Brie and Jason Sudeikis, good chemistry.
Cool.
Alison Brie, known for her chemistry, known for her personality. Sorry.
The Age of Adaline. Harrison Ford was in this one, right? It was
He
a Blake
was,
Lively
yeah.
movie, but Harrison Ford, odd
Yeah.
reason. And like it was the year like he did Force Awakens movie as well.
So what was
I
he?
just
Just
thought
like
that
a
was interesting.
supporting? He was in like a super supporting role.
I think so. Maybe he was a main supporting role, but I remember the trailers and being like, "Oh, Harrison Ford's in this shit. Interesting."
What he play like your dad?
Not that I thought it actually looked decent from
I
from the
don't
trailers.
think so. Because I'm pretty sure it says Blake Lively is remained a youthful 29-year-old, 29 years of age for nearly 8 decades.
A
Oh,
lot of time.
So
yeah.
she's like immortal. I'm imagining that
A
Harrison
vampire?
Ford played like. It says nothing about
No, it
vampirism.
definitely
but
was not a vampire.
She
It's
a ghoul?
probably love magic
She's
because it's
definitely a ghoul.
it's a romance fantasy. So I don't know if she's a ghoul, but probably some kind of love magic.
Behind the scenes, she's a ghoul. They just
Obviously,
didn't,
I
they
mean,
just
it's Blake
didn't get.
Lively. She's
They
clearly
didn't
a
get
ghoul.
into that part.
I love my ghouls. I might have to check this one out.
I will shout out the Star Wars Force
SWB
Awakens.
audio
That
capture
was just
not
awesome seeing that one in
registered.
theaters.
Yes, it was.
Since we are talking about Harrison Ford, and it gave me so much hope for that show.
That is the first movie that I've actually genuinely fallen asleep in a movie theater watching.
Force Awakens.
Because one night I tried to go watch it for like the third time, and it was like a 9:30
Oh, okay. I was like,
showing, and I
fell
was
asleep the first time.
I had been doing stuff before, and I got about halfway through it, and I was falling asleep, and I just got up and I walked out of the movie theater. It was
Yeah.
down the street, so I was just like, you know what, I fucking
Who
see
cares?
some other day.
Exactly. And then the last one, The Invitation. Which one is this?
I have no idea who any of these people are in this movie.
I was
Okay.
shown I was shown the trailer for this recently. It looks really interesting. It's I don't know if
It had a $1
it's kind of a
million
horror
budget.
movie. It's like a thriller.
Yeah, it's got an 89 Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, Logan Marshall Green. He was in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He's Shocker, the original Shocker.
Oh, okay.
The guy that just gets
That Vulture.
disintegrated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a small character.
Oh, you know John Carroll Lynch. He's in it too. He was the Zodiac.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Bubble Boy's dad.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, and he's in The Founder too. Love that
Mhm.
movie. Probably watch that again this year. Goddamn good movie.
But yeah, this one I've heard of, but I never actually saw.
Yeah, this is another one on like my short list that I was intrigued by the trailer when I was shown it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks like it was well received and everything.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're learning new things.
That's it, right? For 2015?
That's all we have, I
Yeah.
believe.
Only 5 years to go now, and we are all caught up. Crazy.
Yeah.
Time flies.
It does.
Both in this real world with these movies.
SWB audio
with this
capture
podcast.
not
I'd say that this-
registered.
I must have flew for Blake Lively when she was a lively 29-year-old for 8 decades, and also a ghoul.
Yeah.
And more importantly, a ghoul.
I kind of want to watch that. I want to look into that movie now and see what she was.
Definitely not a ghoul, man.
Nah, probably not.
Romance movie.
Unfortunately not.
Vampire ghoul.
But yeah, that's all she wrote. Next week we'll talk 2016. It was a terrible year for film, if I remember, like really bad. So I'll be interested to see what everyone ends up picking.
Oh,
Worse than 2020?
Suicide Squad came out this year.
Yes,
Where's your favorite movie?
I would take 2020 over 2016. It was like
Yeah.
really, really bad.
2016 is fucking rough.
So we might just all pick memorable shitty movies in 2016.
Ooh, this is bad.
Did
Dude,
Batman?
I remember
no.
I like
All right,
Batman
make the
vs
thing. I'm
Superman?
picking mine already.
I nearly probably
Justice
saw more
League?
movies in 2020 in theater, and there wasn't a pandemic keeping me in theater.
I dibs my movie. It's an so dibs it.
So yeah, get your shitty 2016 movies ready to go this week,
All right.
and we'll talk about them then. All right, gang.
Yeah.
Appreciate you watching. Hopefully you check out some of these 2015 movies if you haven't yet, and let us know your thoughts.
Have a good rest of the week.
We will talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.